This looks like you tried to make a brick quarter pipe, but I can't really tell how good that actually is. I have more questions than I can give answers here. This is one of the biggest DIY obstacles I think I've ever seen. I have no idea how this was made, but this is clean. I have made a lot of DIY fingerboard obstacles. We have this, we even have concrete obstacles, we have this ledge, we have this ledge, we have whatever this is, we got popsicle stick obstacles. I also made an entire fingerboard bowl out of paper. But I do know one thing. I'm not the only person who makes fingerboard obstacles. All of you guys do as well. On my very own Discord, I made a channel called Rating DIY Obstacles, and it basically works like this. All you need to do is grab your DIY obstacle, take a picture of it, submit it on my Discord, and it'll likely make it in one of these videos. Now is the moment you guys have all been waiting for. I will be rating my subscribers' DIY fingerboard obstacles. So let's begin. So for the very first DIY obstacle, we have a pretty good one. This actually looks really well done. This looks so similar to the one that Black River makes, but this actually doesn't look that bad. 8 out of 10. This obstacle is pretty basic, but it does look pretty fun. It's a pretty basic ledge, but it doesn't look that bad. 5 out of 10. This photo is a little bit dark, but at first I thought this was a Lego ledge, but it is not. If you look closely on the image, it looks like they took some of those like miniature tiles from Home Depot and placed them all together to make this pretty cool ledge. Just because of how good this looks, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. This obstacle is almost identical to the one I made 2 years ago. I've seen quite a few people make a similar version of this, but that one is probably the closest I've ever seen. This one I'll give a 7.9 out of 10. This ledge is probably one of the cleanest I've ever seen. I can't even tell what material this is made of, but that looks so smooth. 9.4 out of 10. This part here, I feel like we have all made something similar to it. This doesn't look like it would flow super well, but it's still pretty cool to see. 5.1 out of 10. I mean, all fingerboard rails kind of look the same, but this one looks very similar to the one that Teak sells. 6.5 out of 10. This obstacle looks so similar to the one that IPE Toys sells. It's a pretty simple ramp, but it is very fun. You also have like a little rock garden ledge there, which is pretty cool. This looks like a pretty fun fingerboard spot. I'll give this a 5.1 out of 10. Okay, here we have a pretty short stair set. This reminds me of the wooden fingerboard ramp that Tech Deck made. It's just very compact. You also have some pork graffiti on that, so that is pretty cool. I'll give this obstacle a 6.7 out of 10 and the cat in the background a 10 out of 10. This looks like you tried to make a brick quarter pipe, but I can't really tell how good that actually is. I've seen worse, but this probably could be a little better. Probably a 2 out of 10 for this one. We have our first wooden quarter pipe here, and this doesn't look too bad. Any obstacle out of wood can definitely take time, especially a quarter pipe, so this is pretty good. 7.1 out of 10. Here we have another version of that ramp that Black River sells. I feel like it's so steep, your board is just gonna catch the nose. I could be wrong, but this one is a 5.7 out of 10. We have our first popsicle stick obstacle. This one's even better than the ones that I make. For the big ramp, it looks like they did something similar to the one that I showed how to make, but then they like extended it and made a whole other like landing part, so this is pretty sick. I'll give this one a straight 6 out of 10. We have another wooden stair set, and if I were to guess, I would say this person is probably left-handed considering the rail's on the other side. Just a guess. 5.2. I don't even know what this is. You have a pyramid, but there's like paper on the corners so your board doesn't catch, but all of it's now just peeling up. You have a basketball hoop on the side of a wall ride. What's going on? I have more questions than I can give answers here. 2 out of 10. We have another wooden quarter pipe here, and this doesn't look too bad, but it definitely could be better as well. 6.4 out of 10. We have another wooden quarter pipe here, and I believe this is actually the same one that we saw. This is one of the biggest DIY obstacles I think I've ever seen. This does not look that bad. I'm looking closer at this, and it looks like the entire thing is made out of Jenga blocks. 9 out of 10. Right when I saw this, it took some imagination to see what this is, but I think this might be a quarter pipe. I don't know what to say about this one, but it could definitely use some work. Why is it only like 2 inches wide, but like it's pretty tall as well? I don't really know what to say about this one. This one is like a 1.1 out of 10. We have a cardboard stair set here. This doesn't look that bad, but I think it could break pretty easy. I'm just imagining the whole rail just going back and forth as you go down. 5.5. I guess I'm no longer rating fingerboard obstacles. I'm also rating finger scooter obstacles. So this is what we have. This is a bicycle rack, and you got pretty creative with a lot of things. I also never even thought about this, but they have rubber bands around the popsicle sticks on the bottom so it doesn't slide. That is actually a really good idea. 7.5 out of 10. This looks like you spent about 10 seconds cutting out the cardboard pieces and another 10 seconds gluing it all together. This definitely takes some imagination to see that it is a fingerboard obstacle, but who knows, maybe it actually flows. Expectation, reality. -2 out of 10. -3 out of 10. It kind of doesn't matter. It just has to be in the negatives. Okay, this is such a creative obstacle. I haven't seen anything like it before. Yes, it's just a stair set that goes down, but just this little like hip spot looks so fun. Just that one part there looks so fun. 9.7 out of 10 for this one. I don't know how you made this, but this is so good. It looks like you took strips of veneer and kind of just glued them all together, but that is actually kind of difficult to do. 8.5. This person is running the Gripsion X Bull God setup, and that is pretty clean. The ledge looks like it's made out of some sort of like tile and maybe like a couple of bricks underneath, but that does look pretty smooth. 7.2 out of 10. This looks so fun. It looks like you did basic parts out of cardboard and then put veneer over, so that is pretty smooth. 9.1 out of 10. This is a pretty short ledge, but you make up for it having like the tiles, so it at least feels good. 6 out of 10. We got the picture taken on the fisheye lens. This is a pretty clean stair set. You also have the moss pieces throughout it just to give it some texture. 8.8 out of 10. This looks like a pretty good paper half pipe. You even printed out some woodward pieces to have right below the coping, so that looks so good. You also got the ultimate duct tape holding that top piece together, so pretty good. I don't know why you wouldn't just glue that on, but duct tape does work. 5.5 out of 10. We have the steepest stair set known to man. You even have a pretty convincing miniature garbage bag there, so that's pretty cool. I can tell that this is probably a Finger BMX setup because you have the Cult sticker there, and that is a bike brand. 4.5 out of 10. Here we have a lot of different obstacles. By a lot, I mean 5. That half pipe looks better than most of the ones that you can buy. It looks kind of small, but it looks like it also has a lot of flow to it. I'll give this whole setup a 10 out of 10 because you did a pretty good job at making those. Here we have another full DIY park. That half pipe looks like it has pencils as coping, so interesting option. I made an obstacle pretty much identical to those rollers and then like a quarter pipe, and it actually does flow really well. 7 out of 10 for everything here. We have another DIY ledge here, and you have like 2 different textures on each side, so that is pretty cool. I feel like you could put some tiles kind of around it, and that would just give it like a really nice look. Just an idea. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. I also have a lot of questions about this obstacle. Question number 1. Why is your board just taped to the top of it for like no reason? Why is there just like one piece of the clay missing? And why didn't you spend literally 10 seconds to just cut that little strip of foam off the side? I will let this one slide for right now, but it can't happen again. 0.5 out of 10 for this one. Here we have maybe the nicest DIY quarter I have ever seen. It looks very smooth, and it also looks like it goes past vert, which is pretty fun. 9.9 out of 10 for this one. What is the point of making a clay obstacle at this point? At this point, I would rather just have a flat fingerboard session. 3.5 out of 10. This looks like a pretty short ledge, but it also looks very solid, so I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. I have no idea how this was made, but this is clean. I feel like this one on a bigger scale would be so cool. I don't know if this is clay, I don't know if it's concrete, but this is very clean. 11 out of 10 for this one. We have seen a lot of wooden quarters today, and I would say this one's probably sitting in second place. 9.7 out of 10. What is the point of fingerboarding at this point? Out of all the types of tape that you could have used, masking tape felt like the best option. Masking tape is designed to be placed on an object and then removed later on, so I don't know how good of an idea that is to make an entire obstacle out of tape that's supposed to be peeled off. What I'm trying to say is this obstacle is incredible, like 35 out of 10. That is it for this video, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it. The Discord is in the description down below if you want to join it and send some pictures, and I will see you in my next video.